Some people call it animal love.
Hey,
Oh yes, of course. I don't know.
please don't call this animal love.
Oh, you haven't heard about it?
No. Animal
I
love.
had a conversation with a young lady who said, "Now my boyfriend or boom, we are the OA dim in the womb," and I'm like, "Yo, what's this?" Hey.
That spices up the
And
relationship.
I've heard females also saying, say, before sex, me there am me boy and person or bomb in I'm like, yo, that's animal love. That's what you call animal love.
Okay.
They always want some sort of suffering before pleasure.
Okay.
You know that's how animals roll, right?
Yes.
Most often there's always suffering before pleasure.
Yeah.
So that's why we term it animal love.
Okay. All right. I've learned something new. Well, here's what. No one can do it better than you do it. No one can express it better than you can express that thing. No one can be better than you know yourself, like a better version of you. You can make yourself a better version of you. Own yourself up. Love yourself. Show yourself love. And be your true self. This is Love City. My name is Nana Konedu, fine wine. I take a breather. When I come back, I tell you who I have in the studios, what we will be talking about. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back and thank you for staying. Like I say all the time, you, my audience, you, my kings and queens, you are the real MVPs. I love you right back. The love, Charlie, it's overwhelming. I love you right back. I have the Grandmaster himself in the studios today with me. And today we are going to talk letting sleeping dogs lie. In a new or in an old relationship. Letting sleeping dogs lie. Okay, that is what we're going to talk about today. I know we have had a discussion like that on one of our previous episodes, but for the sake of something, we have to talk about it again. Grandmaster, hey darling.
And how can you do?
Yeah.
How have you been, sweetheart?
Oh, I'm delicious. I'm good.
I can feel that.
Okay.
You smell
Good.
so good.
Thank you.
If it smells nice, it will definitely taste nice.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. How have you been yourself?
I've been good. I mean, so far so good.
Okay.
The Almighty has granted us favor. We've come a long way.
Right.
Just last week, it was January.
Mm-hmm.
Look at where
You
we
know?
find ourselves now. You understand?
Hey, time no day, oh.
God has been good.
If you have something to do,
Do
there is no time to rehearse that thing.
You have something you want to
Do
eat.
it now.
You have something or someone you want to eat. You have something you want to eat. Eat
Okay.
it now.
Yeah.
Time no day.
Okay.
Yes.
It is our time no day. Grand. Letting sleeping dogs lie in a relationship. How imperative is it?
It is. We've come a long way from your last episode. I think due to pressing issues, we had to come
Yes,
over
we
this
had to
again.
come back to letting sleeping dogs lie again.
I have said it countless times on this very platform that, first of all, before I go, warm greetings to your viewers and listeners, wherever they find themselves. Like you've always told them,
All right.
they are the real MVPs. We
Yeah.
appreciate them for sharing your
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Anytime
yes.
we put our works out there, they put it out there. They spread the gospel according to Studios 2.
Right.
We appreciate them. So let me come back to the matters that's pressing. I've always said that we always have to heal
Before.
we think about going into a relationship. Due to some issues pressing this week, I've had a long thought about it, and I think I might have been too straightforward when I said we'd have to heal.
Right.
People might think healing from our past relationships alone. No. Family traumas too are included. We don't necessarily have to heal from our partners because they cheated on us. No. Psychologically, physically, emotionally, you have to be aware of where you find yourself. You have to heal from childhood traumas. Some people are walking, ticking time bombs.
Right. The slightest.
You see, some people have come from damaging backgrounds, like broken homes and all that. They are all factors that we have to heal from.
Right.
When and if we think about going into relationships, people have always mastered or channeled that agenda that and ex nintin and boy but then when you sit deep and you look into issues very, very deeply, or you look at things from a new perspective, you realize that some people are putting out traits of their mothers and their fathers, or what they've seen growing up. Due to recent activities on all over social media, that is why this issue is very, very pressing.
Yes, we need to reiterate whatever we said in our previous episode and more.
I used to think people are damaged just because of their relationships.
But no, it goes beyond that.
Some are coming from homes.
Yeah.
Some are coming from the places they school. Some are coming from churches. Sometimes I sit down and I wonder, what is next for the future generation? Is this the way forward? Because people always want to channel or push this macho agenda. And yes, forget it, move on. You move on, and before you realize, you've damaged the next man. So I think it's safe to say that before we think about going into any relationship, we have to check ourselves first. Are you okay? Are you sound-minded? People tend to always spend relationships on financial standings. Say, it's not the case. It shouldn't be the agenda.
Right.
I am realizing this, that even though most people go into relationship because of the benefits of what they would get, sometimes you should go out with people that have your mental health at heart. Because relationship shouldn't be the bedrock of healing.
Right.
Relationship. You can't go into a relationship and say, because of the way I got in say, I'm hoping say Ajua would help me recover. No.
Right.
Ajua is not a therapist. Unless Ajua is a therapist.
Okay.
Yes, but even with that, you don't have to go into the relationship wanting your partner to heal you from your past relationship.
Or wanting him or her to make you forget
It
what
doesn't happen.
happened to you.
Most often, we've seen people start relationships fresh and it's all rosy, and then along the line, yes, it's to be expected. From the into other, it's to be expected. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying say it should be rosy till the end. No, definitely we are humans. We're not all groomed equally. So along the line, there will be some few glitches here and there. But then, what I have realized is sometimes we have to tackle the thing from the grassroots. We should look at where the problem started from. Me personally, I always want to use myself as reference because I don't like bringing people's issue on board.
Right.
I grew up in a home where today I'm with my mom, tomorrow I'm with my dad.
Okay.
Today I'm with my mom, tomorrow I'm with my dad.
They were separated at that time.
Separated.
Okay.
Shout out to my mom, I love her to heart though. I feel it didn't help me as an individual because growing up I had to change schools a lot.
Okay.
Today I'm in this school, tomorrow I'm in this school, today I'm in this school, tomorrow I'm here. You see, you think about it and you ask yourself, what does this do to the child? Growing up I didn't have
Do they even ask what it does to the child? Because I believe
most often it's just opinions
their
from
feelings.
themselves. Yes.
Exactly.
So I'm asking myself, I realized I grew up not with so many friends. I mean, it's not like friends who give you money or anything, but then there's some sort of belonging, some sense of belonging in friendship. You know, I can, at any given point in time, take my phone and call Nana Konate when she would help me do my bidding.
Right.
But then I realized that I come to a school, 6 months, 1 year, my dad wants to change my school. I come to a school 6 months, 1 year, my mom is angry again at my dad. I have to move in with my mom. I'm changing schools. You understand? Growing up, it really didn't help me a lot. I realized that it became very difficult for me to make friends because I grew up with that mindset that chakra mafia.
Okay. So we can I because
Whose fault is that? It's not fault of mine. It's the fault of my parents. So you have to take certain things into consideration when you want to judge such people. Sometimes they do it unknowingly. If I didn't get to the point of self-realization and self-actualization, I wouldn't have reached this point.
Right.
I will not say I seeked help, but some way, somehow, I have people educate me on stuff like this. So I know what I'm talking about firsthand. Because I said I'm using myself as an example.
Okay.
I understand what is going on thoroughly because most people don't even realize that they have pending issues with themselves.
Right.
They always tend to blame it on their partners. And most partners are not too much educated or too much well vested on such issues. So when you start exhibiting such traits, they walk away.
They walk away.
So if you are dealing with somebody like me and you are exhibiting such traits, then I tend to sit and want to tackle the issue from where I started from. Let me throw a general thing on board. Okay, so you are going out with someone that when they were growing up, the dad used to pity the mom a lot.
And that gentleman goes into a relationship and begins to exhibit
Because that is
same traits.
that is how they were groomed.
Right.
Growing up, their fathers have made them see, say, Oba Kasa, ye bono. When a woman tries to
Oba
rise
Kasa,
against your authority, you have to beat them to
Right.
succumb to the pressure.
Right.
You can't trace that and say, na bema we are then Oba Asa. You have to understand where this originated from.
Is that can one even understand where it's generated from? And if that gentleman tells you that, okay, growing up, daddy usually like hits mom and all of that.
You see,
I've picked these things up. This person, ever a part of him or him, it's ideally like most of the time it's the guys who do that. Ever a part of him, do they change?
it's like a jail sentence. Whatever you do, you go through it.
Okay.
Just like how people are sentenced to 20 years in jail, 30 years in jail, and they serve their term.
Right.
It's an interface. It's something we have seen growing up.
Okay.
What they need is affection, time, for that very, very thing to be corrected.
Right.
But then it will take someone who understands what they are going through. That's why I keep insisting on the fact that you have to seek therapy. Make sure you're completely healed.
Do they
before
even
you
know they have a problem?
But then you spot the problem if you're a partner.
Okay.
You should spot the problem because it's not normal for a young man to be talking to the girlfriend and are you challenging me? Then the next thing is bang, 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 bang. No, that's not the way of life.
Okay.
So you have a pending issue like that. You have a partner who always wants to solve issues with their fist. You
Violence.
should know that there's a problem.
Okay.
Some people call it animal love.
Hey,
Oh yes, of course, I don't know.
please don't call this animal love.
Oh, you haven't heard about it?
No. Animal
I
love.
had a conversation with a young lady who said, "Na my boyfriend or boom we are and I'm like, yo, what's this? Hey.
That spices up the
And
relationship.
I've heard females also saying, say, before sex, me dey me boy and person or bomb me I'm like, yo, that's animal love. That's what you call animal love.
Okay.
They always want some sort of suffering before pleasure.
Okay.
You know that's how animals roll, right?
Yes.
Most often there's always suffering before pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we term it animal love.
Okay. All right. I've learned something here. I'm sure I'm certain my people have also learned something new. God, I want us to take it to entering into a new relationship, knowing you have unresolved issues with your ex. It becomes a problem in your new relationship because now you tend to look out for
Red flags.
loopholes. Exactly. Okay, is she or he going to do the same thing this guy did to me, this lady did to me? Letting things go. Let's generalize this. Is it me personally? I feel it's very difficult to let things go, but letting things go. What are some of the things we could do to let things go? I mean, so okay, this me jemo a year, because as humans as we are, letting things go it is very, very, very difficult. And like you mentioned in your earlier submission, you mentioned that, okay, because Nana Kunedu has done this to me, Mira relationship from I want to forget about her until quickly we jump into another relationship. And until when are we going to allow ourselves to let things go to live a happy ever after life? Even that's if there is a happy ever afterlife.
You see, there's an old adage on the street that says the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody.
So you see, so they get under somebody.
You see, that's the problem.
Literally, or what?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
They get under somebody
it's an old street adage.
Okay.
Yes, it goes like the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody.
Okay.
That's the problem. You see, most often people are always looking for the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
Not putting in mind that life is always not full of a bed of roses.
Right.
We have to realize that most people are walking damaged.
Right.
Most people are broken. You might be very surprised. You might not see it. The person might not exhibit this violent traits like I was saying.
Right.
But some way, somehow, it might be pornography.
Okay.
The person might be flirting.
There are a lot of flirtatious people in town. Very, 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 very. Please stop coming to me with that.
You see, it's everybody and their problematic traits they carry. You see, how do you get to see these things, or when you see these things? It all depends on you, and it depends on the sort of level or advancement the relationship has gotten to.
Right.
We should always make our intentions clear
Before
we start any relationship. I believe people tend to say, Grandmaster, you are too straightforward.
that's. I think it's a perfect.
Because the next moment we are doing small talks. The next moment I'm asking you family issues. It could be even on the first day.
Okay. But why would you ask family issues on the
Yes,
first date?
On the first date.
Yes.
It helps you understand where the person is coming from.
Okay.
Knowing the sort of home the person is coming from helps you figure the person out easily. If not, so to say, the person will put everything on board, but then you can put your ones and twos together.
Okay.
Knowing the sort of surrounding or the sort of background the person grew up in, it helps you identify some of the flaws in the person's life. Not saying he said, so catch your baby because the person could make the story up, yes, mind you. But then getting some small details of where or how the person grew up will some way somehow shape your idea moving forward.
Okay.
You can't say the person grew up with a single mom.
Okay.
If the dad is late, that's understandable.
Okay.
A young female grew up with a single mom, the dad stays elsewhere. You have to understand this person carefully. Who is the most influence in the young female's life? Is it the mom or the dad?
Or the dad.
Because there are instances where I have friends, or just school fees, now coach will be insane. When they want to hang out with their boyfriends, they tell their mommy, "Mom, I quarter that home."
Sir?
Yes. When they want to hang out with
SHS and Kwani be an answer.
when they want to hang out with their boyfriends, they tell their dads, "Me come mama home."
Okay.
Just to make rooms for stuff like this. So you should know, say, when the fundamentals are weak, your relationship will expose you.
Okay.
We have to realize, say, most people are not broken because of past relationships. It's coming from where they grew up from.
The nurturing process.
In reference to some of the stories trending online recently,
Yeah.
if you want to understand this fellow better, you would see, say, it's a mommy and a daddy issue.
That resulted to
Yes.
whatever mistakes in quote and unquote
It's a
she's
mommy.
made.
It's a mommy and a daddy issue. Not knowing my dad, the person I've always thought was my dad turns out not to be my dad, and I found out when I was a full-grown woman. Some of these things, they tend to do more damage to the person's physical and mental well-being than we might actually let on.
Okay.
So I think I was always of the opinion that you should always check yourself from the relationship perspective before you jump into the relationship. But then, due to recent issues, I'm laid back and I'm watching things differently now.
Okay.
We should
It
be
goes
very
beyond
beyond
that.
relationships. It goes
Right.
beyond relation. I think it's coming from deep down from their backgrounds.
I know of a gentleman who, I think in one of our conversations, he mentioned that he, all his life, he's been hurt. So, any lady or woman who comes into his life now, he sees it as a normal thing to want to break up with you anytime. And if you're hurt, I mean, he's also been hurt at one point in time
So to hell with
in
you.
his life. So yes, I mean, that's what life is about. You hurt me, I hurt you. So if yours comes early, you take it. If mine comes early, I take it. And so no. And as a idea, the pain, what for pain you must sign, or the yawa, or your
No
normal.
remorse.
Yes.
But then this fellow gentleman, I don't think there's ever been an instance where any of his past partners have thought it wise to ask where from all this anger. I don't think there has been any person in his life questioning where all this anger is coming from. And I think it's safe to say that anybody close to this gentleman has always gone there with an agenda.
Okay.
Either say they've heard somewhere that his sex might be so good,
Okay.
he might be loaded,
All right.
or he's a cheerful giver.
Okay.
Because if you want to start life with somebody like this, from the perspective you are coming from, or what you have told me now, I would have to be cautious if I'm a lady. I would have to.
Myself, I was scared. I was like,
Yes.
hey.
You have to play your cards right, because this is someone who won't exhibit any signs of remorse.
Right.
Yeah, they are young. The heart is cold.
Exactly.
Vampire heart.
I mean,
No blood flowing through it.
So the year cry now,
I mean,
and ya.
and then people have come and gone. So there has to be somebody questioning his sense of reason. There has to be somebody pushing an agenda to want to know where all this started from. You would be surprised, it might be from his childhood.
Right. Right.
Not mommy and daddy issues alone, it might be from school.
Okay.
Some of our churches these days, you know. So there's someone who has to understand where all this anger is coming from to be able to help solve this young man's crisis.
Someone needs to sit him down
Yes.
and probe that
We need a full 2-hour expose into
Right.
his past life.
Right. Grant, this takes me to another part of our conversation. I feel that a lot of us are broken. We are walking broken. We are scared of who to share that piece of information with. How trustworthy is that person? Is he or she going to keep whatever information we are telling or we are conveying to him or her?
Use them against you.
Exactly. So we are walking broken. So the slightest flame or fire someone sets, boom, we escalate into things we do not even know we are escalating into. What is that one thing we need to do to be at peace? Emphasis on no. Peace with ourselves and with people around us.
Know who to talk to.
How do we know who
I'm
to
coming.
talk to, Grant?
Okay, so if you want to rely on a friend, make sure this friend also relies on you. Don't go blabbing.
Okay.
Now we are together. You don't put anything on board, then I burden you with my cross. No, it's a no for me.
Okay.
It has to be a hand go hand come situation. I am there for you. Obviously, you have to be there for me too. It shouldn't be a situation where I always come. And I connect to you, you're a good listener. And I connect to you, that you're a good listener. So I always come and pour it out on you. At a point in time, you would choke on it.
Okay.
That's the thing. And there's one thing about secrets. The moment you tell someone, it's no longer a secret.
All right.
Some people don't feel safe telling people about their secrets because of how the people tend to handle other secrets. That is why there are appropriate people to talk to. I don't think a well-trained therapist will be posting your issues on social media just to get likes.
No, absolutely not.
If you think friends are not the avenue to channel your problems towards, yes, it's understandable. There are 1,001 counselors all over the country.
Okay, great. Owning your truth, accepting mistakes you've made and owning them up. Me, I feel it's if not the first on a healing process list, the second. We need to own our truth. Oh, yes, I did it. It helps one. This is like my submission, what I'm thinking, that's what I'm saying. It helps one know his or her next move because you've owned your truth. I know there are news like what's trending now. People are backlashing her and all of that. I do not want to mention names. I'm certain our viewers know what we're talking about. And why do you even want to talk about this? Are we not supposed to talk about things like this to be able to heal?
Self-accountability is one of the wheels that propels men and women towards greatness.
Right.
Yes. I'll be very, very blunt from this piece. Okay, so in as much as I acknowledge the effort to want to start the journey of self-healing, whilst you are self-healing, why do you drag people down with you?
You feel there's a driving down somewhere? Okay.
You see, I want to applaud her for going on the journey of self-healing. But then this is where she had it wrong.
Okay.
These are people who also have their problems.
Okay.
These are people that are not perfect people.
Okay.
These are family men and women you have written in your books. So in as much as I am applauding you for wanting to go on a journey of self-healing, you have to ask yourself, have you healed?
I mean, that's the journey. In the process.
Because now you've stirred up emotions.
Right.
If you, I feel like
things people did not know about now.
This some way somehow doesn't anymore feel like a road to healing. It feels like a road you're on a journey for vengeance. Yes, that's another perspective you can look at it from.
Okay.
Because these are honorable men and women of the country and other countries we are talking about here. These are married men. Should Party A's wife take issues on board and start dragging you all over town, do you think you'll be at peace? Do you think it would help your healing journey? These are some of the questions you have to ask yourself. Issues from 10 years ago. Party A, was he married 10 years ago?
I'm feeling that issues from 10 years ago tells our unhealed.
Yes. That is very, very understandable.
How troubling and traumatized.
Yes. I understand 100% where you are coming from. But then this is where I want you to also understand me.
Okay.
Nana Koneidu, you and I, we've been on a romantic journey for what? God knows when now. And it's been 10 years. You have moved on. You have a child.
That's what you feel?
No, I'm coming. I want to land somewhere.
Okay.
You have moved on. I have started a family. God being so good, you have a child. I have a child too. Why do you make our personal issue an issue of national interest if you truly want to heal from our personal or private issues? Why do you make it an issue of national interest?
Okay. That's okay. All right.
You understand my standpoint now? Because
that's what she feels.
Yes. You have an issue
she's made it a
Yes.
A national issue for
Yes.
everybody.
And now you have
To
every
share.
Tom, Dick, and Harry jumping into the issues. You have people forming podcasts and tabloids, and a whole lot of perspectives. People are bashing you. Others are supporting you. People are saying,
Where do you stand?
if you ask me where I stand,
Now, who are
I'm not
you
going to do.
ask?
If you ask me for my blunt and blatant opinion, I think you might need 2 hours from your producers.
Okay.
Because I am an angry man.
We do not have enough
You see,
airtime for an angry man.
In as much as I applaud her journey to self-healing, I feel since Ghanaians weren't there when this whole romantic journey started, Ghanaians shouldn't have been involved
Okay.
in the self-healing.
Okay.
I think a simple call to the young man
Right. Would have been better
would have been much better.
to make break up, trash things out amicably.
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
Because
fair
when you
enough.
were doing the two,
We were
the
instead.
hotel appointments and all
Right.
that, the trips,
Okay.
the enjoyment.
And my producer says I have 5
You
minutes
see,
now.
I told you. You understand? So, I mean, I pray for her mental health. I didn't want to say this, but when you embark on a journey of vengeance, you have to
Right.
dig 2 graves.
Okay. All right.
Because-
let me take this
Do
message
take it.
before. Nanefia says, depends, but personally, I would let sleeping dogs lie most times because when what's done is done. Why cry over spilled milk?
Thank you.
That's what Nanefia says. Okay. Why cry over spilled milk?
So you see, in as much as you want to heal, nobody's against you healing. I mean, your mental health is as much as important as getting an orgasm.
Okay.
I am not against you healing, but then, I've done you now all day fast. That's not what is sitting right with me.
Right.
And I'm not saying you should take my 1 cent for your daily bread. No. It might be my own opinion. Yes, I'm entitled to my opinion, just as you are entitled to your own opinion too. But then,
Okay.
I am a bit sad that you chose to do this
Okay.
to a married man.
All right.
I'm coming.
Then let's move. It's look as if we are reviewing.
Give me 30 seconds. I'm not gonna
We are reviewing
I'm
someone's
not gonna
thing.
do. I don't want to sound sexist, or I don't want to exhibit traits of toxic masculinity. But then, have you asked yourself, if this was a married woman, happily married with her husband, and this young musician in question,
Okay, so like a vice versa,
Vice
or
versa
what?
thing.
Right.
what do you think people will say
Now
about
we
it?
go
You
ask.
see, it's an unfair
On
thing.
your final submission. I just said me
I am-
fans them know.
I'm
Me fire.
glad
So,
we've come back to this very thought, because the last time we
Speaking
treated
God's
it,
eye.
I was not in the best state of mind too. So I'm happy we came back to this. But then, know thyself. Before you go embarking on a romantic journey, make sure you are sound-minded.
right.
Before you go drag anybody say make he can't love you, make sure say they love yourself first.
I want to start looking to your camera and say this. Speak to them for me.
You understand? If you know they love yourself, make you no go they force somebody make he can't love you.
Right.
If you can't love you, how do I love you? If you can't appreciate you, how do I appreciate you? Learn to respect yourself as an individual before others will appreciate you and respect you. Let your yes be your yes. Let your no be your no.
Definitely.
And don't forget, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Definitely.
I end by saying, the way you go lay your bed, now so you go lie and talk. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Grandmaster. I don't know what else to add to or say. I feel he said it all. Know thyself, love thyself. Nobody can do it as better as you will do it. it is yours. We have different minds. You need to control it. Whatever you have lingering in your head, you can express that thing better than anybody else because, mind you, we are not in each other's head. If it was possible, chaos everywhere, because then we tend to know what the opponent person or our friends and families are thinking about us. I know some people watching me now, they even want to already. Thank you so much for always tuning in to watch our shows, from mine to Grandmasters VAR Sports to Training Issues with Kobe J to Current Affairs with Marina. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and comments also with us. Kindly tell a friend who do not know about Studio Stu TV. Share the link, share the gospel. It's imperative that you do so. Until I come your way again, drink a lot of water, eat healthy, and mind your business. Bye.